Hello everyone, welcome. Today we're going to talk about different styles of traveler's notebooks so you can figure out which one might be right for you. I will, as per usual, put links in the description in case you'd like to get one of these for yourself or a gift for someone else. What we're looking at is the format. Are you talking about a simple piece of leather with a band? Or are you talking about a lot of layers of leather with different configurations and a lot of bells and whistles added? Let's get started with the most simple thing there is. And whether you are talking about the Traveler's Company brand or you're talking about any of the other brands out there on Amazon or Etsy or wherever you find your traveler's notebooks, in any case, probably the simplest thing is going to be just a piece of leather. That's really almost it. So it's going to look something like this, and it'll have a band that comes across to close it. It may have a protector, it may not, but the band comes across, you open it up, and at its heart, it is simply a rectangle of leather. There's no stitching involved here. You're not cutting out multiple pieces. It's just leather. And then you have this band that is usually made up of one band that threads through the top and the bottom like this. And it has one main band. And then the back kind of makes like the thing that provides the tension. So one main band, one main piece of leather, maybe or maybe not a little protector. That's it, okay? So this one is from a company that I cannot pronounce, and I will put a link in the description to it, and I'm going to call this Passport Traveler's Notebook because that's what size this is. Okay, so Passport Traveler's Notebook, simple piece of leather. Right in that same family is just a little bit larger version, the regular or standard size. This one is from Wanderings. It has a logo embellished, so kind of the next step up from having just a plain piece of leather is having a plain piece of leather that has something engraved on it or embossed on it. And it can be a logo from the company, or it can be something custom. It could have your name, it could have your initials, it could have something like hope or dream or love, whatever. But it's just a piece of leather, one band, and something engraved on it. So like I said, this one is from Wanderings. It has their compass logo in the bottom right corner, but otherwise, same. Something you're going to notice today is that these might look a little bit dry on the camera, and that's because of the studio lights. I promise I do condition my traveler's notebooks. They look much more well-loved in person. If you've been here before, thank you for coming back. It's nice to see you again. If you're new, welcome. I'm Anne, this is Key Lime Ink. I do journaling and planning and watercolor, anything to do with making your paper look pretty. Do me a favor in the comments section, whether you've been here before or you're brand new, please let us know what style of TN you use. What format works best for you? What's your happy place in the TN world? Or are you brand new to this? Is this all new to you and you're just trying to get your feet wet in the Traveler's Notebook community and see what might be on your wish list? All right, so simple piece of leather. The next step is to add pockets. So when you take this Wanderings and this Wanderings and they look a whole lot alike, can you tell what looks different just at first glance? It's the seams here. It's the sewing. And that sewing means that inside we've got pockets so that you can also turn it into a wallet. So we've still got that one main band. We've got kind of the back band behind for resistance. And this one comes with an extra, so that's why it's looped in here. But pocket-wise, we have a folio pocket on the left and a folio pocket on the right. And then we have these card pockets, and it's basically one piece of leather, and they stitch it to the folio so that you can put your driver's license or your credit card or a library card or business cards, whatever you like, or a card that has washi wrapped around it if you're using it for art purposes. Maybe you've got some watercolor swatches you stick in here, or some favorite stickers or stamps. Sky's the limit on how you use these pockets. What's in your pocket? But what I like about this style is the way that they sit flat. So if I put a driver's license, a credit card, and an insurance card, they're all going to sit nice and flat, and they're not going to add too much bulk to the TN. So that's a nice style. But yeah, we've gone from one piece of leather to 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we went from a 1-layer birthday cake to a 4-layer birthday cake, right? 4 pieces of leather. Then we bump up to the next version. You've got the pockets. Let's add something else. This is from Newestor or September Leather. Usually, if you just Google Newestor Traveler's Notebooks, this is what's going to come up, but I'll put a link in the description to the exact ones. The link is interesting because the listing on Amazon is always going to look like this, or at least it has for years and years and years, but the leathers might differ. So sometimes it might look dark like this, like a dark espresso. Sometimes it might come with a lighter brown, but they're always going to be a shade of brown. They might have a smooth finish. They might have a little bit more textured finish, but they're always going to be a piece of brown leather, essentially, or a bonded leather, a composite. So you open it up, you've still got that same band. You've still got the stitching. It's still this regular or standard size, but there's something different about the outside, and that's this reinforced spine. And what's helpful with this, and sometimes it's just available on the TN like this one. Sometimes if you're ordering a custom TN, it's an add-on. They might charge you a few extra dollars to pop on a reinforced spine. The purpose that it serves is to add stability and to make it wider. So basically what happens is if you just have a plain spine like this, it's a little more likely to buckle because your inserts are going to pull on the bands that it buckles. The reinforced spine helps keep that sturdy and straight as you're using it. The other thing that it does is help it end up spaced out more so that your inserts don't have to jostle for position along the spine. So a regular TN is kind of going to look like this, maybe a 1/2 inch wide. But with this Newestor with the reinforced spine, you get almost like 1.5 inches wide. And that way, when you put your inserts inside, they can all sit nice and neat next to each other, and you can fit in more of them. So I think I've fit maybe up to like 8 in this with the extra bands that it includes, and then adding even more bands. So the outside has that reinforced spine, the inside has pockets, but they jazz them up a little bit. We've got a scallop edge on our folio pocket, scallop edge on the card pockets, scallop edge on the other folio, and now we have a pen loop. So now we've got 1 piece of leather, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Once you add the pen loop, we're up to 6 pieces of leather, 6 layers on that birthday cake. All right. And the pen loop can be used in multiple ways. You can simply pop in a pen as it's designed. This one is a little floppy. The Newestor pen loop, one thing I don't like about it is that it's super floppy, but you pop your pen in and it goes like this. Or I like to carry 2 pens. I have the one I use all the time, and I also have my brush pen that I like to do lettering with. And I pop them on backwards with the clip, like this and this. So we've moved from a simple piece of leather to multiple layers building up pockets. Now we've added a pen loop and a reinforced spine. Next, we have a slightly different format. This one is going to have a lot of the same features, but do you see what's different about this one? It's the flap. So there's a brand out there called Louise Carmen. No judgment. Some people will literally get on an airplane, fly to Paris, get a hotel, buy some macarons, because you have to do that when you're in Paris, and they will go to the Louise Carmen store and they will have an experience. They will choose the kind of leather, they will choose what size they want, they'll choose what color the grommets are, they'll choose charms to go with their TN so it can pop on like this and look pretty. There's a lot of things that you can do in that shop to customize your experience, including having something, engraved on the front. But there are knockoffs in the world of traveler's notebooks. There are so many knockoffs. Like it or not, what it does allow you to do is go to a place like Amazon or Etsy and get something similar to those really expensive TNs and try it out and just see if it's for you. Just see if you even like the flap before you book your ticket to Paris, all right? So I didn't love this when it arrived, honestly. It came wrapped in a piece of plastic. It was just shrink wrapped in plastic. That was it. There was no experience. I opened my box that had tea and hand lotion, and this was just thrown in with it, okay? It had scratches already because it was only in a plastic bag. It didn't have a dust cloth. It didn't have a box. It didn't have any charms with it. It didn't have any inserts. It was a piece of leather thrown into a box. But it allowed me to realize that the flap is not for me. This one I'll put a link to in the description. And if you go to that link on Amazon, you're going to see my negative review. Heads up, this is controversial. I don't like the flap. I also don't like that this smelled like leather for maybe 2 seconds when it arrived. Within a day or two, that leather smell had completely dissipated. When I get into my artisan leather crafted traveler's notebooks, I've used some of these as everyday carries for years. They still smell like leather because they are full grain leather. This, not so much. I don't know what it's made out of, honestly, but it's pretty, especially when I put this pretty little charm on it, which I got as a gift from an Etsy seller. Look at that, isn't it cute? They're pretty. They look trendy, they look streamlined, they look nice sitting on your desk, they look beautiful in your Instagram pictures. Open it up, look at this. It's like a cross between a Louise Carmen, which usually doesn't have pockets, I don't think. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's a cross between that and a Newestor, where you've got these card pockets, pen loop. It's kind of a nice combination of all these things. But the flap, and the fact that I don't think it's real leather, and the fact that it came in a piece of plastic, I'm not gonna order another one, I'll put it that way. But you might like to try it. Why? Because before you spend a lot of money on a system that you don't want, it gives the opportunity to just kind of see, do I really like the flap in practice, or is it just pretty in pictures? All right, so I open this up, put my cards in here to turn it into a wallet. I put several inserts in it. I get my pens the way I like them. This is a stiffer pen loop, which is good. Put my pens on there, close it, and this is the first problem. It never wants to really stay in the same place. So you go like this and you get it closed, and it folds like this. It moves around like this. It's got a mind of its own. So think about that. And then you open it and you go to write. And here's what happens. I open up my notebook. I'm starting to write. And those of you who have cats, your cat comes up and it wants to journal with you. And you love your cat and it's adorable, but it's also kind of annoying, right? That's the same way the flap is. It's pretty, but as I'm writing, it always wants to hug me. And that drives me a little batty. So I take my notebook, I fold it under like this, and then it adds kind of a bump, and that's annoying. So I say, well, I'm gonna fold it back like this, and then it adds a different bump, and that's annoying. And honest to goodness, at some point I just wanna cut it off. I wanna cut off the flap. You might order something like this. You might put in your inserts, you might sit it on your desk, you might start writing, and you might decide that the flap is the greatest thing since sliced bread, and you have always wanted a flap. And that's the fun part of traveler's notebooks. They can end up being so custom. There's a style in here in this video for you probably. There's something in here that you might see and go, ah, that's what I've been looking for. And what you want might be completely different than what I want, and that's okay, all right? There are no rules in the traveler's notebook world. Find what works for you and enjoy it and take it with you and fill it up with your thoughts and your words and your illustrations and your stamps and your stickers and your cutouts from magazines. Have a good time with what works for you. This one does not work for me. All right, so put this away and you say, okay, I like the pockets, but I don't want something mass produced. I want something that's from an artisan leather craftsperson who puts their whole heart into this. It's not on an assembly line. It's in a little studio in North Carolina. And you end up with Speckled Fawns, made by Terry, who is just fantastic. Terry is really creative and she's really good at finding incredible leathers. So she'll go out and she'll find a kind of leather, she'll make a really cool artisan style, she'll pop it up on her shop. There's a link in the description to her current shop, which is on Squarespace. But I'm also going to put a link to her former Etsy shop because you can see some of the older styles that people had designed and what they looked like in real life and all the nice things they said about them. Great thing to do. You can also go to Facebook and there's a Speckled Fawns group. So people will chat amongst each other, you know, about what design they got. And sometimes there's some trading that goes on. So you go to a person like Terry at Speckled Fawns in North Carolina, and you've got really good quality full grain leather. And it opens up, it has the same band, it has beautiful stitching, you've got pockets, you've got bands, but there's something else about this. Have you seen it yet? It's the front pocket. Now we're not just having pockets inside, we're having a pocket on the front. And I really like that. And she's not the only one who does it, but I think it's a really cool thing. Terry is also really good at finding the natural edge of the leather that suits that piece, and then she'll cut the rest to match. In this case, there are actually 2 natural edges, and they look so cool. What do I do with my pockets? I use them as my pen holders. Now, if I were to just pop my pens in like this, it would start making a bump. It would probably drive me batty. So what I do is I flip them over this way. Put that clip, and I can even add, I've got my pen that I write with, I've got my brush pen, and I've got my Tombow Mono drawing pen, which I use for sketching because it dries instantly. You get this nice black line that dries instantly. Great for ink and wash watercolor. Well, now I can carry that with me too. And I pop that on. Now I'm carrying around 3 pens. Closure comes across, it's nice and secure. Front pocket, game changer. All right, so this one is from Speckled Fawns, and the leather is called Striation Nation, described as buttery, full-grained, warm caramel. All right, front pocket. Next, we have a different kind of closure. So we've bumped up the size here with that Speckled Fawns, with that wrap style. We're going a little bit wider. That doesn't matter. What we're talking about here is the closure. This one is from Chic Sparrow, which is super duper popular. The leather is really cool. I like the texture to it. I like the patina that it's gotten, and I like the pickup in the leather. It has just really, really cool variation. So the leather itself I like a lot, but what they did with this style is give it a snap closure. And a snap closure can work if it's just smooth and easy to use. This one is not smooth and easy to use. You have to really push to get that closed, and you have to really pull to get it open. And I think if you're somebody who perhaps has arthritis or some mobility issues, or you just don't want to have a workout to get your traveler's notebook open and closed, maybe this particular brand of snap is not for you. I'm not a fan of this. I have had traveler's notebooks in the past, or just journal covers that had a magnetic snap closure, and that was awesome because all you had to do was just move it around and you get it anywhere near that magnet and it would just pop closed really, really easily. And then for opening it, it opened really easily. And I was able, gosh, I've had that. It's a journal cover. It's an A5 from a company that no longer exists. And I've been using that for years and years and years. And it's never like pulled, you know, here where the snap comes in. It's never pulled away from the leather. It's been really good quality. This one is just so annoying. Okay, but I want to talk about the inside a little bit because we do have pockets, but they're formatted completely differently. So for the others, we either just had a plain folio or we had card pockets that went like this and the cards sat flat. This one is what's called a cascade. It's a very popular style from Chic Sparrow, and the cards go here, 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 here. And you can, this one is actually pretty large, so they're bigger than a typical business card. Maybe you could even fit your phone in one of them. I'm not sure, I haven't tried that. You could fit stickers, whatever. Tell me what's in your pocket. What do you use? If you have a Chic Sparrow that has the cascade pockets, what do you use them for? I'd love to hear that in the comments section. So we've got pockets over here. We've got the bands. And then this is clever. This is the pen loop that is used in this particular style of Chic Sparrow. You take your pen and you can pop it in like this, or you can take your piece like this with your clip and you can put two on this way. So that works as well. They're a little annoying to get back out, so I guess I would probably stick with the way that it's intended. But that's different, right? It's just a different style of layout. So it's still a traveler's notebook. It still has bands. You can still move around your inserts. You can still turn it into a wallet situation. You still have somewhere to put your pen. But the difference is this cascade style of pocket holder and the snap that I don't like. Okay? And then we move on to one of my absolute favorite makers out there. Apple Pig Leather is a very, very small leather studio in Taiwan. The artisan behind all this is Ting. He's so cool and so kind and so creative. So again, if you go to his shop that's linked in the description, it'll take you to his Shopify store. He had to set that up recently because he had had an Etsy shop for years and years and years. He had tons of wonderful reviews, lots of creative, interesting designs. And then Etsy said, hey, we no longer service your country. Nope, you can't have a shop in Taiwan anymore. And so he had to shift over to Shopify, but I'll put a link to both so that you can see those old pictures and old reviews. And just like with Speckled Fawns, you can also go to Ting's Facebook group for Apple Pig, and then you can join together with others and share ideas for the designs, because what sets Ting apart, in my opinion, is that instead of just saying, I make traveler's notebooks, he gets totally on another planet where it'll be a traveler's notebook, but you can also get it with like a purse. Like it's turned into a purse. It has, you know, a purse strap, and which can be removed if you want to have the strap or not have the strap. Then it can also have these pockets that open up to make your whole entire life, basically. Or you can get something like this, which in Ting's world is actually a very simple design. And I laugh, you'll see what I mean about this. This is not simple at all, but in Ting's world it is. So you've got, this is an A5. It's actually a custom design that is made to fit like a Hobonichi Techo Cousin or a Newestor. So you get that true A5 and you open it up like this. And first of all, you have very nice stitching. You have leather that feels truly like a worn-in baseball glove. It's just awesome leather. You open it up, wait till you see this. So you've got secretarial pocket, folio pocket, secretarial pocket, bands. Pretty straightforward at this point. But then you open it up and there are card pockets. And they are designed so that they don't overlap too much. So it's kind of cascade, but they each have their own space. So if we're pretending that this is a card, it pops in like this, and then the next one behind and the next one behind. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 card pockets. Then you have that folio pocket that I already showed you, and then you have the surprise pocket like this, and I usually put cash in here. Move it over here, open it up again, 4 more card pockets. And then this is designed to, for example, put like a brass ruler. That's what I usually keep in mind when I use it as my everyday carry. But you can also stack your pens in here. And then this protects the rest of your notebook from the pens, which is awesome. I do find it's a bit cumbersome to write on that with the pens in it. So let's say I get to the coffee shop, I open it up, I take out my pens that I'm going to use, close this, and now it's nice and flat and you can write easily. Or you can put your pens on the edge like this, because that corner, as it folds, you get like a crease here and here, and you can easily pop your pens on, and then you can carry them and they're always like readily available. In addition to those 4 card pockets and the pen holder or ruler holder or whatever you want to go in here, you also have another secret pocket. Isn't that just amazing? And again, in Ting's world, this is simple. This is like his regular traveler's notebook with super pockets added to it. But then you can have like more added on, and then you can have that purse strap added on, and then it just goes and goes and goes. The other benefit to working with an artisan leather craftsperson is that you can customize the leather choices. So for example, see how this is really smooth and this is more textured? You can ask Ting to have the whole thing be buttery smooth, or the whole thing be more textured, or a combination. Or you can have different colors. So I've seen one of the ones I had an eye on the other day had tan, navy, like that. And then like the outside was navy and the inside was tan. It was so beautiful. So you can just customize these to your heart's content. I will tell you that with Ting's shop, what he tends to do is keep it open for a little bit to take orders, and then he'll step away for a little bit to catch up on those orders. He will also take a step away to go out and source really cool new leathers. He's special. Treat him like he's special, because he is, I promise. It does take time. You might start this process with Ting and map out what you want, and it might take several months, and then you've got shipping to consider. It's gonna take time, it's gonna take patience, but it's worth it. They're so beautiful. You can also look on like buy sale trade groups on places like Facebook and interact with other traveler's notebook aficionados, and you can talk amongst yourselves and trade amongst yourselves. Lots of fun stuff out there. I hope that you found something in here useful. I hope you found a design that piqued your interest. If you did, please click like and subscribe and share and all of that good stuff. And enjoy your own journaling journey. Make it your own and have fun with it. Thank you for being here. Bye-bye.